Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a really surprising story of global trade. We're talking about a connection between two countries literally half a world apart, and it's all woven together by one of the most humble materials you can imagine. So, you gotta ask, right? What in the world connects Brazilian coffee beans to farms that are, get this, 15,000 kilometers away in Bangladesh? I mean, you've got different languages, totally different cultures, a huge ocean in between. So, what's the actual link here?
Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it points to this massive economic opportunity that most people just don't see. It's a story all about how a single natural fiber is quietly weaving together two huge economies.
Okay, so how is this all happening? I mean, this kind of partnership doesn't just spring up out of nowhere. Let's take a look at the key players who are actually making this whole thing work. All right, so meet the Brazil-Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce. You can just call them the BBCI. Think of them as the official matchmaker in this whole relationship. They're the ones creating the platform for businesses to actually meet, to figure out all the tricky regulations and, build the trust you absolutely need for these kinds of long-distance deals to actually work. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. Let's look at the real, tangible connection that makes this whole partnership so powerful. And trust me, this is where the story gets super interesting. The hero of our story? It's jute. You might have heard it called the golden fiber of Bangladesh, or you probably know it as burlap. It's tough, it's super versatile, and this is the big one, it's a natural, biodegradable alternative to plastic. And that right there makes it the perfect solution for Brazil's huge agricultural industry. So you might be thinking, okay, but is this just some tiny niche market? Is there really a big demand for this stuff? Well, the numbers, they might just surprise you. Get this. In 2025 alone, Brazil brought in over $4.2 million worth of jute fibers. So yeah, this isn't some potential maybe one-day market. It's a real, thriving market that's got consistent demand. And here's the kicker. Look at this chart. Of that $4.2 million, a whopping $3.88 million came from Bangladesh. They aren't just a player in this market. They are the dominant supplier. It's not even close. And this isn't some accident, right? The climate in Bangladesh is just perfect for growing jute. For generations, they've mastered how to process this fiber. It's a huge part of their economy. So that trade route, it's already there and it's strong. So what exactly is Brazil buying? I mean, what kind of jute are we talking about? Understanding their specific needs, that's the key to unlocking this opportunity even more. Now, let's be clear, Brazil is not looking for jute to make, fancy handbags or trendy decorations for your living room. Nope. Their needs are all about practicality. It's driven by the powerhouse industries that define their whole economy, agriculture and commodities. We're talking function over fashion, 100%. This is about supporting the very engines of their economic growth. First up on their wish list, classic Hessian fabric. You can think of this as the workhorse of the jute world. It's used for literally everything, from covering crops to being a base material in manufacturing. It is a fundamental industrial staple. Next up, and this one will make perfect sense, food-grade sacks. I mean, Brazil is world famous for its coffee and cocoa, right? So, of course, high-quality jute bags are in constant demand. And these aren't just any old bags. They have to meet really strict standards to protect the amazing stuff inside. For Brazil, that coffee is a source of national pride. And last on the wish list, Brazil needs the raw materials themselves. We're talking about jute yarn and twine. Why? Because these are the basic building blocks that feed into Brazil's own manufacturing, letting them create their own specialized products from the ground up. Okay, so let's say you're a Bangladeshi exporter. How do you actually turn this huge opportunity into a real signed contract? Well, it all comes down to a really clear, disciplined playbook. It's actually pretty straightforward if you follow these 5 steps. It really just boils down to 3 things: precision, compliance, and trust. Okay, step 1. Nail your product spec. You've got to match your jute product exactly to what the industrial buyer needs. Step 2, find a registered importer. You have to partner with a Brazilian buyer who is officially on the books. Step 3, master the documents. Your paperwork has to be perfect, no room for error. Step 4, pack for the journey. Remember, that's a long, humid trip across the ocean, so your packaging has to prevent mold and moisture. And finally, step 5, and this one is probably the most important, build the relationship. That first shipment isn't the end game. It's the foundation for trust and hopefully a lot of repeat orders down the line. All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Because honestly, this story is about way more than just one plant. Here's the real takeaway. This jute connection, it's not the end of the story. It's really just the beginning. It's the perfect model, like a case study, for all sorts of other potential trade deals between these two countries. We're talking everything from other agricultural goods all the way to textiles.
And that's exactly why organizations like the BBCCI are so incredibly important. They are the human connection, right? They act as the bridge that closes that huge gap of distance in culture. They're the ones who turn what could be a lot of friction into smooth, professional communication. They're what make these really complex international deals actually happen.
So, that leaves us with one final thought. If a simple, humble plant fiber can forge a multi-million-dollar connection between two economies 15,000 kilometers apart, just imagine. What other powerful, hidden opportunities are out there, connecting our world, just waiting to be discovered? Thanks for joining us.